Think you've got every firearm trick in the book nailed down? Over the years, I've picked up tips from veterans, top-tier competition shooters, and seasoned gunsmiths who've seen it all. Some of these ideas are so straightforward, you'll wonder why they didn't cross your mind, while others might completely change what you thought you knew about shooting. From cleaning shortcuts that truly save you hours, to training tweaks that can sharpen your aim almost overnight. These 10 tips separate the casual shooter from those who live and breathe this craft. The vinegar and peroxide barrel refresher. Many folks assume the only solution for stubborn fouling is pricey brand name solvents. But there's a well-tested method used by soldiers for decades that works just as well, if not better, than anything from your local shop. Combine equal amounts of plain white vinegar and hydrogen peroxide in a small jar. This makes a gentle solution that tackles lead, copper, and brass deposits with ease. For a heavily fouled bore, wet a patch with the mix, swab through it, and leave it overnight. By morning, run clean patches through, and watch as the grime peels right out. It rejuvenates revolver cylinders too, easily removing scorch marks. Just scrub with a bronze brush dipped in the solution, then use a Scotch-Brite pad and it'll look factory new. The key warning here: don't let this mixture sit too long. It leaves a tacky residue that needs to be rinsed away with a proper cleaner and then followed with appropriate oiling. Never let ammunition soak in this mixture. The solution can weaken metal, potentially causing dangerous issues. This isn't your routine cleaning, but when nothing else works, it's like magic. Transforming household odds and ends into reloading gems. Reloading equipment can quickly become costly, unless you know how to turn everyday items into useful tools. One easy trick is using dryer sheets. Yep, those sheets you toss with your laundry. Wipe your powder funnels and plastic hoppers with them to eliminate static, ensuring your powder flows smoothly rather than clinging. Old film canisters are perfect for measuring or transferring powder. They're clear, simple to handle, and if you overcharge, you can pour it back easily. Here's a clever one for testing loads. Mark bullets with different colored markers just ahead of the bearing surface. When shooting groups at the same aim point, the colored marks on your target reveal which load was more effective at longer ranges where wind can mislead. A small magnifying glass helps inspect brass and flash holes, while a can of compressed air clears debris from primer pockets in a flash. Thin latex gloves keep skin oils off primers and powder, saving your hands from grime. These little hacks smoothen your reloading bench setup without straining your budget. The Loctite seating depth gauge trick. Dialing in bullet seating depth is key for accuracy, yet most folks simply guess. Here's a gunsmith shortcut to find the precise point where your bullet touches the rifling. Use a fired case. Coat the inside of the neck with blue Loctite and seat a bullet just enough so it stays put. Carefully chamber it, close the bolt, and let it sit for about 10 minutes. When you extract it, the bullet will be glued precisely at the land's position. That measurement becomes your precision baseline. From there, you can test whether your rifle prefers the bullet slightly jammed into the lands or with a small gap before engaging the rifling. Different barrels favor different configurations, but without knowing your true lands measurement, you're just guessing. This method costs pennies, requires no fancy gauges, and gives you pinpoint measurements so you can load with real data instead of crossing fingers. Keep your magazines on a rotation schedule. Many shooters treat their magazines like permanent parts, but in truth, they're consumables. Springs lose tension over time, especially when left fully loaded for long stretches. The solution: rotate them. If you've got several magazines, switch them every few months so no single one stays compressed all the time. When rotating, take a moment to check for cracked feed lips, warped bodies, or sluggish springs. Often, feeding issues stem from magazines, not the firearm. If a mag shows trouble, retire it immediately. They're far cheaper to replace than the cost of a problem when it matters. Keep spares on hand. Label them with the date you started using them and monitor their wear. Treat magazines like the wear and tear parts they are, and you'll prevent most feeding failures before they start. Troubleshooting like a seasoned pro. When your firearm stops running, the worst thing you can do is start tinkering blindly. Every malfunction leaves clues, and learning to interpret those signs saves time and avoids expensive repairs. A failure to fire generally comes down to bad ammo or an ignition issue. Check the primer on the dud round. If there's a solid, deep strike, it's likely defective ammunition. If the strike is shallow or faint, your firing pin isn't striking hard enough. Start by cleaning the firing pin channel, then check the spring's condition. A feed failure is often due to the magazine. Weak springs, bent feed lips, or an improperly seated mag are usual suspects. Don't overlook shooter technique. Some pistols need a solid grip to cycle correctly. Stovepipes and ejection failures usually come from a dirty or damaged extractor, a worn spring, or again, a weak grip. Clear these by angling the pistol so the ejection port faces down and working the slide firmly. Double feeds may look nasty but are typically simple to clear. Lock the slide back, strip the mag, and manually clear the jammed rounds. The golden rule is to stay calm and work methodically. Most problems stem from consumables like ammo, mags, or springs. Check those before suspecting the firearm itself. Tap, rack, reassess, the go-to procedure. When something goes wrong midstream, you need a reliable drill to fall back on. Tap, rack, reassess is that drill, and it's been proven effective in more situations than any complex clearing method you've heard of. First, tap the bottom of your magazine firmly to make sure it's seated. Many stoppages happen because the mag's barely hanging on. Next, rack the slide with purpose. Pull it all the way back and let it snap forward. This motion ejects any problematic round or casing and chambers a fresh one. Finally, reassess. Get back on target right away and be ready to shoot. Don't spend time admiring your maneuver. The threat is still there. This drill solves most failures to fire, failures to eject, and some double feeds. It's simple enough to execute when adrenaline's high and fine motor skills are shot. Train until it becomes second nature. The beauty of it is it either gets you back in the action or shows that the concern needs deeper attention. Either way, you've got a solution. Gun cleaning no-nos. Cleaning time can bring out the worst ideas from the garage workshop. Plenty of good firearms have been damaged by using improper products. Skip the oven cleaner, carburetor cleaner, and other harsh household chemicals. They'll strip protective finishes and may even pit the metal. Even something seemingly harmless, like simple green, can degrade certain coatings. Avoid cotton swabs, paper towels, or old t-shirt scraps, as they leave lint and fibers that can work their way into your action. If you need patches, use specifically made ones that won't fray. And whatever you do, don't use a power drill with a chamber brush. That shortcut will wear out the chamber and potentially affect headspace. Stick to hand power only. Avoid abrasive pads unless you're sure of what you're scrubbing. What seems like tough fouling might actually be your finish. Above all, never leave your firearm dry. Using the wrong lubricant or none at all will cause more harm than some leftover fouling. A gun that's dirty but well lubed usually runs better than a spotless dry one. Brake cleaner and motor oil improvisation. When you're out in the field without your cleaning kit, you might improvise with brake cleaner and motor oil. But you should understand the trade-offs. Brake cleaner blasts away carbon, oil, and fouling rapidly, but it removes every bit of protective oil from your parts. If you use it, reapply lubricant immediately, minutes not hours, or rust will set in before you're aware. Keep it away from plastic parts if possible, as it can be tough on some polymers. Motor oil serves as an emergency lubricant if proper gun oil isn't available. A quick swipe of the dipstick and a few drops on crucial parts like the bolt carrier or slide rails keeps the action running. For short-term reliability, lubrication is more crucial than spotless cleanliness. A grimy, well-oiled gun outperforms a dry, clean one. These tricks aren't replacements for real maintenance, but when far from the workbench, they might just keep things going. Clean more often than you think is needed. Many shooters only reach for the cleaning kit when their groups spread out, or the gun starts acting up. That reactive approach costs you in terms of performance and longevity. A healthier habit is to clean your firearm after every range outing, whether you fired 200 rounds or just a few. Powder residue, oils from your skin, and airborne grit start settling right after firing, or even when handling the gun. Carbon fouling attracts moisture, which breeds rust. Here's what many overlook. Even a firearm that's mostly for show needs periodic cleaning. Dust, lint, and humidity find their way in during storage. Military armories require a minimum cleaning every 90 days, and in humid places, that schedule should be even tighter. A cluttered bore doesn't just dull accuracy. It changes how each round travels through the rifling, leading to unpredictable shots. Buildup in the action invites feeding problems, ejection failures, and light strikes. Treat each cleaning as a mini inspection. You'll catch loose screws, worn springs, or minor cracks before they ruin a match or a hunt. Stick to a straightforward routine. Field strip, clean the bore, scrub the action, then apply a light coat of oil on moving parts. It's not about making your firearm shiny. It's about keeping it ready, reliable, and protected for years. Secure storage without compromising speed. Owning firearms means balancing two priorities, keeping them out of unauthorized hands while having them ready if trouble appears. For defensive firearms, a quick access safe with either a biometric lock or a high-quality mechanical combination is your best ally. Practice opening it in complete darkness until your hands can do it instinctively. If you can't operate it half asleep and under stress, it's not fast enough. Store the firearm unloaded, with ammunition in a separate locked container if the law dictates. For defense setups, keep loaded magazines or speed loaders inside the same secure box as the firearm. This keeps you instantly ready while avoiding loose ammo lying around. Forget about hiding spots. Curious kids and experienced intruders will find them. A proper locking unit is the real deterrent against unauthorized access. Consider worst-case scenarios when planning storage. If someone in your household is struggling with personal issues, consider temporarily storing firearms away from home. No gear is more valuable than life. Finally, check your setup regularly. Ensure locks operate smoothly, hinges are solid, and batteries in electronic safes are fresh. Safe storage wasn't a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing part of responsible ownership. That's 10 solid tips to enhance your shooting game and keep your gear running smoothly. Some might sound unconventional, and others may go against what you've always heard. But every single one comes directly from folks who've spent plenty of time behind the trigger. Got a favorite shooting hack of your own? Share it in the comments. I'm always eager to learn new angles from fellow enthusiasts. If this roundup provided value, hit that subscribe button for Beam Firearms, where we focus on tips and tactics that work in the real world, not just on paper. Until next time, stay safe, shoot straight, and keep your skills sharp.